Intuitive Fridge Raid Lunch, episode 21. It was cold outside and I was really craving soup, but I didn't have many of the classically soupy ingredients in my fridge. I did have some cooked beetroot though. I like to cut it up like this to avoid having to clean stains from my board or hands. While I prepped the beetroot, I thought about how I could make the soup, along with something to dip into the soup from what I had. I found an old bag of hash browns in the freezer. I didn't have any bread and I was hoping once jazzed up a bit, they could do the job. I drizzled over oil and put them in the oven to bake. I wanted to almost overcook them so they'd be better for dunking and topping later. To make the soup, I chopped up a leek, heated some oil in a pan over a medium heat and got them on to fry. Once the leeks got soft and golden in places, I added a jar of beans. I would have normally used potato here to form the body of the soup, but didn't have any in. My hope was the beans would provide the bulk and creaminess the soup needed. I then added beetroot, enough water to cover everything, and a stock cube. I allowed the beetroot and beans to simmer while I got on with jazzing up the hash browns. I had some overripe goat's cheese that needed using up in the fridge. I tore it pretty generously over the hash browns. I was hoping for a kind of toasty and soup vibe once everything was done. I got them back into the oven so the cheese could melt a bit. Once the beans had started to break up, I blended everything together until smooth. The soup needed no more seasoning, but I should have added a little less water perhaps to make the texture slightly thicker. Once the cheese on the hash browns had melted, I drizzled over plenty of honey to balance out the flavour, and crumbled over oregano buds for a bit of fragrance. Oregano, cheese and honey are a really nice blend of flavours that make most foods, even hash browns, taste fancy. I poured the soup into a bowl, drizzled over a bit of oil and served with sweet, salty, crisp hash browns.